I recently tried modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And I kind of hated it. But someone from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community decided to show me what older formats of Yu-Gi-Oh! Look like. Will I like it? Let's find out. Okay, so this is the Edison format, right?
This is Edison format. Yep.
Okay, so could you just quickly describe the differences between this and what I saw in Master Duel, the atrocious Master Duel gameplay I witnessed? Sorry.
There are many differences. So Edison format took place back in 2010, based off of the Shonen Jump Championship Edison event. And we're going to be playing with many fewer cards than you were used to playing in Master Duel. There's only 2 types of cards in the extra deck. There's only fusion monsters and synchro monsters, and both decks we're playing may not even use those potentially. All the cards are a lot simpler. They only have 1 or 2 lines of text for the most part. It's a much simpler style of Yu-Gi-Oh! That a lot of people remember, but there's still a lot of just combos and like fun things that you can do to really make it a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. So in your opinion, should I like this more than Master Duel?
I think you're going to have a lot more fun given your background with Hearthstone because it's slower. There's back and forth. There's interaction between the games. It's just a lot of fun. I think you're going to have a wildly different experience than what you had with Master Duel.
All right, you got me excited. I can't wait. I see rock, paper, scissors here.
We have to start off with rock, paper, scissors. So I usually roll a die. So you can try to mind game me, but I literally am not going to even bother. So.
Oh, you just RNG it.
I RNG it. Yeah, I've learned that I am not good enough to play rock, paper, scissors. So I just roll a die.
Okay.
And it works. Sometimes it works.
Won.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick to go first. One of the biggest differences between Edison format and current Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that you actually get to draw a card going first. Most card games you actually aren't allowed to draw during your first turn. But I think they stopped drawing for turn around 2014, 2015, which is a long time for Yu-Gi-Oh! That was like 13 years you were allowed to do this, which is crazy. So
why did they stop?
Because going first is too good in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, okay.
As you know, with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have a resource system like Hearthstone or Magic. We don't have mana. We don't have lands. And so for Yu-Gi-Oh!, the cards themselves are the resource. And every individual card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so powerful that the cards themselves being the resource, having 1 extra card over your opponent is actually a huge advantage. And then there's no reason to go second in most cases.
Okay.
We're going to be in main phase 1 here, and I'll just give some basics over playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So each turn, you're allowed to either normal summon or set a monster that has 4 or less stars, which you can see on the top right of the card.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and set myself... I'm going to set myself a monster. Setting means it's face down in defense position, which is horizontal. And I'm going to set myself down 2 back row. These are what you could assume to be trap cards, but they could also be spell cards. Trap cards are allowed to be activated during either player's turn, but they have to be set face down for one of my turns before doing so. And spell cards can be played immediately, given the context that they're allowed to. And so that's really it. I'd be able to attack if it wasn't the first turn, but I'm just going to pass the turn.
Okay. All right. So you know what's funny? Everything you described is what I learned in the tutorial of Master Duel.
I mean, at least it taught you that much.
At least it taught me that, which is actually really great. Okay. So hold on. I just got to get used to the menu here. Okay. So let's just see if this works.
Sure. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to hover over a card and it should give you a bunch of options. So to play a card, you're going to want to hit activate in the case of a spell card.
Oh, okay. I hit the...
There you go. Okay, so you drew one of the best cards in Edison, Heavy Storm. This card is banned in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! For reasons like this. And it's going to reward you here because you're going to send my cards to the graveyard. So you get a nice 1 for 2. Edison's interesting because there's not many genuine +1s. So Heavy Storming for 2 cards is always a great swing in tempo.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
So then after you activate that Heavy Storm, you're going to hover it and send it to graveyard. It'll say to grave.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to like manually do that.
Yeah. So it's like we're literally playing in person, except on a computer.
Okay. Ooh. So sorry, just so I'm clear. So to set, it means it's like you don't actually see the face of the card, right? I was going to double check.
Correct. So if you set the card, it's like how my cards were played during my turn. They'll be face down.
Okay.
And if there's any other weird, interesting... Oh, okay. Could have been anything.
Okay, so I'll tell you this right now. At the moment, just from what I've seen for the first 2 turns, this is exactly what I thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Was going to be doing in Master Duel right after I was on the tutorial.
So I'm going to help you out. Hover over your Snowman Eater and click either set or flip. I think it should say set.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I could see your Snowman Eater, but it's okay.
Fun. Actually, I did set it to face down or just face up in defensive position. That's actually what I did intentionally.
Oh, well, so you're not allowed to play it in face up defense position. So when you play a card, you either have to play it face up in attack position or face down in defense position.
Well, the more you... Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know, actually.
The anime, they played stuff in face up defense position all the time. That's a lie. You can't do that. Back to my turn. So I draw for my draw phase. Standby phase, for people who don't know, this is like an upkeep phase. There are some effects that happen during the standby phase, but for the most part, you typically just skip this. And we'll go to main phase 1 here. So I'm going to pretend I don't know that you have Snowman Eater. So I'm gonna play this as if I don't know that you have Snowman Eater. So with that being the case, I think all I'm going to do is set another card face down and pass.
Oh, okay. I will have to take some time to just read this.
Yeah.
So you said we got to activate this here.
You're just getting all the spell and trap removal. Okay. Hit my Dimensional Prison. That is a battle stopper card.
Oh, okay.
You can send that Typhoon to the graveyard.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I gotta get in the habit of that. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, DD Warrior Lady for the normal summon. That's the very strong card.
After damage calculation, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster. Oh my god. Okay,
yes.
That's actually sick.
Yes. Great stats, great effect. Just an all-around solid card.
Can I attack the first turn of minion to summon? I think
you can.
Right?
There is no summoning sickness in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is one of the things people like about it.
So to do that, I do declare, I think, based on the options.
So what you want to do is in the middle there, in the middle of your screen, you're going to see DP, SP, M1, BP. BP is battle phase. So to declare an attack, now if you hover Warrior Lady, you'll see an option to attack.
I see. Okay. And I can attack directly. And if I attack directly, then you have the option to block.
So no, you actually have to attack my monsters first. And then if I have no monsters, you can declare a direct attack. Some monsters have the ability to attack directly, which is why that's an option there. So this is going to be my Colute the Moonshadow. So you have the option here before this goes to the graveyard. You can banish the Warrior Lady and itself. Now, your 1500 attack is bigger than my 1000 defense. So you're going to kill this no matter what. But if you don't want this to be in my graveyard for any reason, you could choose to banish both the cards. So this is where you'd make that decision.
In your professional opinion, and again, it's just so I know, would you want to banish this card?
In my professional opinion, I would say no. You're going to just get a +1 here. Just keep the Warrior Lady, and then I have to deal with it myself. So I would say it's not worth it.
Okay, so then, all right, perfect.
Yep, and so since my Colute was in defense position, I don't take any damage from that attack. But if the Colute, for instance, was in attack position when you attacked, I would have taken 100 damage here.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
Cool.
I'll end my turn.
I'll draw. Stand by main to deal with Warrior Lady now. That is not fun.
This deck you gave me, is it good? I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, I gave us 2 of the better decks in Edison format, but I wanted to also pick specifically decks that are relatively easy to understand what the cards do. Some might have, like, for instance, Colute has a bit more text on it than most cards, but it's pretty easy to understand what it does. I can discard it from hand. It gives a monster 1400 attack. That's it. I am just going to set 1 and pass it back.
Oh.
Playing very passively.
Okay, so let's do this.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the battle phase.
Yep. And since I have no monsters, you can attack me directly, and I'll take 15.
Let's go. All right. Dude, this is so much more fun.
Isn't it?
I know.
There's gameplay. It's great.
It's actually...
I am going to go ahead and set a monster, and I'm going to set a back row, and I'm going to pass the turn. Can you understand now why you thought, or I thought for you, this might be more like Hearthstone-esque?
Yes, I can. Yeah. I can. Well, see... The problem is just like, I don't know if you watched the video that I made, but
I did.
The tutorial didn't do a good job of showing me what Master Duel was.
Sure.
Right. If this was what Yu-Gi-Oh was after I finished the tutorial, I would have played the game for the whole 10 hours. No questions asked. Like, no questions asked. Just, it was... I could go on.
I feel like Master Duel's tutorial greatly misrepresents how Yu-Gi-Oh is actually played nowadays. Because that tutorial, with everything you learned, is pretty applicable here for the most part.
Yes, it actually seems like everything I learned in there is what it is. Because I don't remember when I played Master Duel if I actually set a single monster down, because I don't think it was very relevant.
All right, I'm going to think on this attack here. So one of the things that is a bit different than Hearthstone, or even a lot of other card games, is that you have a lot of windows to respond. So when you declare an attack, I do have the option to respond with a card. So I am going to activate this trap card called Icarus Attack. So Icarus Attack, I can tribute a winged beast monster. You might be wondering, where's your winged beast monster? Well, it's my set monster. That does count. And then I get to target 2 cards on the field. And that's the cost. Everything before the semicolon is the cost of the card. So I'm going to target your DD Warrior Lady, and I'm also going to target your back row. Now, you have the opportunity to respond before they get destroyed. So if that back row is something you want to activate or has the ability to be activated, you can use it. Otherwise, both cards will get destroyed.
I don't want to activate that. It doesn't do anything.
Okay, so the Warrior Lady and the set card will get destroyed.
And I'm assuming that just sends to the graveyard.
Just sends
right?
to graveyard, yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's Dimensional Prison. Okay, so that'll end your battle phase because you don't have any monsters on the field.
Yes.
And that'll end your turn. You also do have the ability to have a second main phase to play trap cards or spell cards or monsters after. Hasn't really come up for us yet. Okay. I will go into main phase 1, and I think we're going to start cooking here. At least we'll try to. I will activate Black Whirlwind. So this is a continuous spell. This card will just stay on the field, denoted by the infinity symbol. And so anytime I normal summon a Blackwing monster, I can add a Blackwing monster from my deck to my hand with less attack than the monster that I normal summon. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to normal summon Blackwing Shura, the Blue Flame, and this is going to trigger my Black Whirlwind. So with my Black Whirlwind, I'm going to go ahead and add myself a copy of Blackwing Boar the Spear to my hand. It has 1700 attack to my Boar is 1800. And I will put this here so you can, not that. I will put this here so you can look it over. It basically just has piercing if you're familiar with Magic. And I can also special summon it to the field as well.
Piercing is what? Trample?
Piercing is trample. Yeah. So I will go to battle. Even though I'm not supposed to know what your set is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a die just to make it fair. So I rolled a 4, so I will attack what I know is ultimately the Snowman Eater.
Okay. That's all right, fair enough.
So it's going to get flipped up into defense position. So you can go ahead and turn it to defense.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, you're good. So what's going to happen is here, I'm going to take 100 because your 19 is bigger than my 18. And then because your Snowman Eater was flipped up, you can target a face-up monster on the field and destroy it. So I imagine there's one in particular that you'd like to kill.
Yeah, let's get rid of that Blackwing one. Yeah.
Okay, he's out of here. And that will be the end of my turn. Go ahead.
Okay, sick. Okay, so I'm based on the deck that you gave me, it looks like I could actually use my extra deck for like to summon something, right?
Yes. So I believe you should have a few cards in there that let you take advantage of the extra deck. But there's only I gave you a deck that has minimal extra deck usage. So
okay. So I'm gonna ask a question then. Let's just say hypothetically speaking, I do have a Miracle Fusion in my hand.
Okay.
And that card hypothetically says, well, it actually says, I might not have it in my deck or my hand. Fusion summon 1 elemental hero fusion monster from your extra deck. By banishing fusion materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Is this a fusion material in itself, hypothetically, or is it like, what does that actually mean?
Sure. So if you go hover your extra deck and click view,
sure,
you should have a card in there called Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. You see that he requires a hero monster and a water monster. And so that is the main card you're going to be summoning off of that Miracle Fusion. So at any point, as long as you have a water and a hero on either your field or grave collectively, you'd be able to activate Miracle Fusion in order to summon Absolute Zero. Okay. Hypothetically, of course. Hypothetically.
Okay, so so hypothetically speaking, I need both of those resources.
Correct. You need both of those resources, and then the Miracle Fusion banishes those into the banished pile, which is directly above your graveyard. And then that will summon the Absolute Zero from the extra deck onto the field.
Okay, I understand now. All right. Okay.
So you're halfway there. You have the Snowman Eater up.
Oh, so I could summon something and then do it.
Hypothetically, if you have Miracle Fusion, you could hypothetically do that.
Okay. Well, this is exciting. Okay, so we could do like this, right? Okay. Wow.
That is a hero. That is Neo Salius. Yep.
So as far as I'm concerned, hypothetically, I could summon that card for my extra deck.
Hypothetically, if you had this Miracle Fusion card we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes. Oh, look, you had Miracle Fusion. That's what a coincidence.
Okay, so to get this card from my deck,
so first you're going to banish the cards that are the materials.
Okay.
So
you're gone. You're gone, and I'm assuming the spell also goes to, right?
The spell will go to the graveyard after the effect resolves. But yeah, you can send it to the graveyard now. That's fine.
Oh, not to, okay, never mind.
And then
animation.
you can special summon the absolute zero either in attack position or defense position. I think there might be one you might prefer over the other if I had to guess.
Let me just read this card real fast. Gaze. Each one.
It's pretty crazy.
This card leaves the field. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Let's put it down.
Yes, that is also why I gave you this deck, because absolute zero is one of the craziest cards in this format.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh, dude, for the first time this month. Can you believe it? All right. And I could be wrong here, but I can't attack this turn in my battle phase with this?
You can. That's correct.
Oh my God, I'm gaming.
So in response to your attack, I do have a trap card. I'm going to rain on your parade. I do have a mirror force to kill your absolute zero.
You fucker. All right.
I couldn't let you have it. I'm sorry. It's too good.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I respect it. Listen, if I even come close to winning this, I'll feel good. So you can beat me. Don't worry.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolute zero. The fact that if I kill zero, he wipes my board, I have to take care of it now. It's too powerful.
Absolutely. Can't leave it up. I understand.
So we'll go to main phase 1. And I think I'm going to try to get... how crazy do I want to get? Let's go for it. So I'm going to go to my extra deck now. So I'm going to start by normal summoning Blizzard the Far North. So a couple things are going to happen here. So I have 2 effects. So since I normal summoned a Blackwing, I have Black Whirlwind. And then I also have Blizzard the Far North's effect, which activates on normal summon. So this is going to form what's called a chain. A chain is just when multiple effects are activating either simultaneously or sequentially after one another, forming responses. Think of it like the stack in Magic the Gathering, for instance.
Right.
So basically, I'm going to make Blizzard Chainlink 1 and Black Whirlwind Chainlink 2. And Chainlinks matter a lot, not necessarily in Edison. They actually do matter in Edison in some instances, but more in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you can chain block and actually prevent some cards from interacting with other cards, which is kind of cool. That's when you get to like really high level play, but that's not going to come up for us. Don't worry. So Black Whirlwind's going to resolve first. I get to add a Blackwing with less than 1,300 to my hand. And the one I'm going to choose is Vayu. Don't have to worry about him. And then my other chain will resolve here, and this Blizzard is going to grab me. Let's see what I have here. A Shura the Blue Flame. So it comes in defense position, and so clearly it can't attack this turn. When a monster's summoned a certain way, you can't change its battle position. So this coming in defense does matter. Now, if you look at Blizzard, you'll notice that there's a piece of text on it next to where it says Winged Beast. It's called a tuner. So what a tuner is it allows me to access my extra deck and summon not a fusion monster, but a synchro monster. How a synchro monster works is I add up the stars on a tuner and a non-tuner, which Shura is because it doesn't have the tuner text. So 2 + 4 is 6. I send these to the graveyard, and I get to summon a level 6 synchro. And in this case, I'm going to summon Yugioh Guardian.
Okay.
So Yugioh Guardian's gigantic. He's 2,800 attack. So I'm just going to go to my battle phase, and I'm going to attack your set monster.
That's on the large side, right? Like, what's the highest attack monster in this entire format?
3,000 most likely is going to be like your highest. I mean, like absolute zero can gain attack and go up to like 4,000 technically, but like base stat 3,000 is pretty common.
Okay. Well, you know what? I hate to do this to you.
It's another Snowman Eater. Sounds good. So that is going to destroy my Yugioh. I don't get to steal it, and that's perfectly okay. Snowman Eater will go to the graveyard.
And you're going to the graveyard. Okay, I was just double checking. Yep. So you do get to attack when it's flipped. It's just the effect will go off no matter what.
Correct. Yes, because it was flipped face up. These cards are so simple. They're so simple. I'll set
this
one
is
in
nice.
back.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to do a simplified game state here. We only have a few cards each.
All right, I'm going to end my turn.
In your end phase, I will activate Mystical Space Typhoon to target and destroy the new set
card. All right.
Future Fusion. Why'd you set the Future Fusion?
Just to proc your removal.
Was that why? You can activate it if you want to go back.
No, it's okay. That's all good.
Sure. I'll draw.
Listen, it's all about the mistakes you make.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to normal summon Bora the Spear. So this will trigger Whirlwind. I get to add a Blackwing with less than 1,700 attack. So I'm going to add a copy of Kalut the Moonshadow. And I'm just going to get in for 17. And so how damage works is there's a little box underneath battle phase. You just type in 1,700, hit enter.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's happening?
Manual simulators are great. Trust me. This isn't Master Duel.
I'm so used to like everything done automatically for me.
No.
Okay.
This is the premier way to play Yu-Gi-Oh before Master Duel, by the way.
Really?
This
was the online client. Basically.
It's not even first party support. So
does Konami know this exists? They probably do. They just don't care. Yeah, they just don't care.
Yeah,
makes sense. Wow. How many people have you introduced to this format? By the way, you're really good at like explaining everything.
Not many, nice. As a matter of fact. I've always a lot of people have just always told me that I'm a good teacher.
Seems like it, man.
I'm not gonna overextend, so I'm just gonna try for 17.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to die, so I will use this.
Okay, so that will banish Bora, and Prison will go to grave. In second main, so I have not committed my normal summon yet, so I'm gonna summon another Bora.
God damn.
And that'll trigger Whirlwind. I will grab myself a copy of Blizzard this time. And I will set one card and I will pass it back to you.
You know what's crazy about this format, dude, is like you're running out of resources. It feels like, and you haven't just absolutely destroyed me already.
Yeah. I'm telling you, games happen in this format. There are non-games, don't get me wrong, but
okay. No, but I can tell right now, like this Black Whirlwind card, I think in like regular Yu-Gi-Oh, it's probably not played anymore, right? It's way too slow.
In regular Yu-Gi-Oh, yes. But so back in the day, during this format, Black Wings had actually just gotten released, which is why they're one of the best decks in this format. Because no deck really had the potential to like swarm and just really do the things that the deck does.
Okay.
Now I will point out, hypothetically, if you do happen to have another copy of Miracle Fusion, Elemental Hero Absolute Zero is both a hero and a water monster. So since you have a Snowman Eater, it is essentially self-fueling another Miracle Fusion. I'll give you a little hint there.
Oh my God. Wow. So you're saying hypothetically, if I had a second one, I could summon another monster?
Hypothetically, if you had another one, yes.
Wow, dude. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much. So you're saying I can summon another hero boy?
Yes.
Okay. Hell yeah, dude.
And so this is how this card's meant to be used. You want to banish your resources from the graveyard, which makes Miracle Fusion essentially free.
Okay, so to do that, I go in the graveyard.
Yep.
And I'm banishing the snowman.
Correct.
Or just
both of them.
Okay, so banish this guy. And then the other hero card you said?
Yes.
Perfect.
Because Snowman Eater will fulfill the water and Ab-Zero will fulfill the hero.
Okay.
But he can fulfill either one, which is cool. So like if you had a hero in your grave instead of the Snowman Eater, it would still work.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. And then I can also, let's normal summon this guy.
You have not normal summoned yet, so that's fine.
Okay, cool. You can only do one normal summon a turn.
Unless another card or effect permits you. But yes, generally most decks only get one normal summon.
Okay, so then, oh God, what is this trap card? What are you holding?
You don't have to attack either. Like that's an option.
Yeah, but like if I don't, oh God, I'm trying to think about how I win this, right? Because I'm basically at this point almost top decking, right?
Sure.
You have an like this is my Hearthstone brain coming in. Okay. You have an unlimited value engine technically, as long as you always have a minion to draw from your deck, because you're always going to draw one extra card from me, which means eventually you'll just win.
Sure.
So I kind of have to take a risk here.
Okay.
I believe. So you know what? I will attack with this.
Okay. So gonna get a bit technical here, so I'm gonna explain.
Sure.
So on your declaration of the attack, where a card like say Dimensional Prison, like we've used this game so far, or Mirror Force, for instance, these cards say when an opponent's monster declares an attack. So this would be the window where this attack would be happening. So I'm not gonna have an effect that activates at this point. So you know I don't have Dimensional Prison or Mirror Force. Okay. We then move on to what is called the damage step. And so the damage step is where there are cards that can modify the stats of other cards. So for instance, in the damage step, I can discard this copy of Blackwing Kalute, and it's going to raise my Bora up to 3,100 attack.
I knew you had that.
You did know that I had that.
I did. I knew you had that. Yeah. Okay.
Now,
reading explains the card.
Your absolute zero is actually at 3,000 because you have Elemental Hero Ocean on the field. Because it gains 500 for each other water monster out. So.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Your absolute zero is going to die here, and you're going to take 100 damage.
That's fine. Okay, 100 damage.
Yep.
Okay. But the good news is that your guy dies.
Correct. So I just wanted to get your guy off the field. So absolute zero will go to the graveyard, and then that'll trigger, and then my Bora will go to the grave.
Okay. And I believe it works as once you initiate attacks, your battle phase is over, right? After everything is done.
You still can attack with Ocean. You haven't attacked with Ocean.
Oh, I thought, okay, that's pretty sick. Hell yeah,
There's no summoning sickness. Yeah, get in.
Right. No, because it's weird because in Magic, right, you declare your attacks and then your opponent responds, and then you can't declare attacks after you declare your attacks. Like Correct. That's it. That's what you're gonna go for. So that's why I was asking.
And this game is more, Yu-Gi-Oh is more like Hearthstone, where you get to pick.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And
you
then
choose your targets. Cool. All right, I'll draw. We're going to go ahead and normal summon Blizzard. You should remember this guy from before.
Right.
This is going to trigger our chains again here. So Blizzard is chain 1. Whirlwind is 2. Whirlwind's going to get us another Vayu. Not that I really want them in my hand, but it's free cards. And Blizzard is going to get us back a 6. Yeah. We'll get this Bora. That's fine. So once again, I have a tuner and a non-tuner. So that's 6 stars that I can sync up here for a synchro summon. And we're going to summon a new Blackwing. This is Blackwing Armed Wing. So he's a 2300, but if I attack a defense position monster, it gains 500 attack during the damage step, and it does piercing. So
okay,
in this case, your Ocean is an attack, so that's not going to apply. But I am going to go ahead and hit you for 800 here.
Okay, and this thing dies as well, right?
That will die. Yep, and I will pass the turn.
Oh god, oh my god! I think I'm going to the Shadow Realm.
Well, there could be a third Miracle Fusion that you happen to have hypothetically the material for.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Let's have my turn.
Okay. I'll draw. Stand by main. I think I don't want to push further because you could have some cards that actually would come up here. So I'll just go 23 direct.
Holy man. All right.
And I'll pass. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think this is useful. Let's try it. All right. So we're gonna activate this.
Yeah. So I'll let you add any hero from deck to hand.
Any hero.
Elemental hero. There are some non-elemental. I don't know if there are any in that deck, but generally in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's many types of heroes.
Ooh. Wait, this actually might be I kind of need this. Okay, so to hand, I think it is.
Correct.
I'll just assume.
Stratos is probably the best hero. Yep.
All right, then I play it. Normal summon it.
And then E-Call will go to grave, but yeah, so you get to add another hero.
Yeah, okay. We're gaming.
Yeah.
Hold on. Another hero. What else we got? Can I do that again?
No, Stratos is at 1. It was at 3 for about a week, and then they emergency banned it, or emergency limited it to 1.
In this format?
Not in the format like before, or like a couple before, when it was first released. Yeah, because you can search itself.
All right, I have to kind of go big here. So I'm gonna take this card. Okay. Was this a good idea? Hold on. I'm thinking. All right, well, I don't really have a decision to make. I kind of have to do it like this. Okay, so I need to wait for my standby phase because technically I'm my main one, right? So,
and you already normaled the Stratos, so the Ocean can't be normaled.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, good.
So I have to take it back to my hand, right?
Yeah, it just goes back to your hand.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we go to battle phase, but I ain't attacking that shit. But even if okay, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, I'm ending my turn. All right. I'll
draw. Standby main. I think I'm still just perfectly happy attacking.
Come on, man. This is 500 damage.
It'll be 5. Right? Yep.
Yeah, and then this is to the grave.
And I'll pass.
Oh God! All right. It all comes down to this. What the hell is this card? This would have been really nice to have before.
Story of my life.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. There's nothing worse than like have you ever played Hearthstone before?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so one of the worst feelings on Hearthstone is when you're in the aggro deck and you don't have a 1-drop, and then you top deck the 1-drop that literally the turn after. That's what's just happening. That's exactly what this is. All right, so I guess I'm gonna do this. I need to play this, otherwise I'm just gonna lose anyways, right? Okay. So if this card wasn't face up right now, let's just say I set it. If I went to the standby phase, the effect wouldn't actually proc because it's not actually revealed to the opponent.
That is correct. Yeah, okay. That's how that works. Okay. All right. Well, this is fitting. You used this against me at the start of the game, so I'll go ahead and use it now.
Oh. Okay.
Unless you have a response, which there may hypothetically be a card in your back row that I don't know about that could be used to protect you. But
see, here's the problem. Even if I use it, I think I just lose, right? But I'm going to do it anyways for the dramatic effect.
Sure.
Because that's the anime style.
It is one of the most powerful cards in the game. Like, let's be honest.
This seems very good. Yeah. Okay, so I spend half my life points because I have to negate that.
Correct. So you would just take 13.
My God. Yeah, just 13, dude.
Just 13. Well, it's better than taking like 4,000 at the start of the game. If you look at it that way.
You're right. You're definitely right.
Okay. Well, I'll go for broke. I'll bring out Shiro. Do you have any response at this point?
Hold on. I'm just reading. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is cool. We can still do this.
You can, and that actually saves you from losing.
Yes, I love not losing. All right.
We'll just get in for 8.
Okay.
And what's also good about that bottomless is that it stops my Black Whirlwind from triggering as well. Because Black Whirlwind checks... correct, because the monster's gone off the field. There's 0 attack stat to check. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. Sorry. Wow, that card's absolutely useless. Okay. All right, we're going to have my...
Okay, all right. we will get in for 23 and try to close it out.
How do you have 5 cards? What the fuck? All right.
It's a Mirror Force.
Activate.
Okay, sure. I'll take him out.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I will go to my second main, and I will set a card, and I will pass.
Okay, so that doesn't really help me. Let's do this.
Sure. All right, I'll draw. So I am going to perform what's called a tribute summon. So instead of just normal summoning a level 4 or lower, I can sacrifice a monster that I have for a 5 or 6 star monster. So I'm going to sacrifice for Sirocco the Dawn.
Oh.
Now, the text on him is pretty irrelevant for now, but we're going to trigger Black Whirlwind because I did normal summon a Blackwing. A tribute summon is considered a normal summon.
Okay. Makes sense.
So with that, we are going to grab, I believe, the card I need, the last copy of Bora out of my deck. Next, since I control a Blackwing monster, I get to special summon Bora from my hand. I am going to use the effect of Sirocco the Dawn. And what this does is it adds up the attack of all Blackwings on the field and gives it to one monster, but only that monster is allowed to attack. So this is going to put my Bora to 3,700 attack.
Holy shit. Okay.
And it has piercing. So I'm going to go ahead and declare an attack.
All right. Well, here's my mole. Okay, I'm just dead.
Yeah. So you would take 3,400 in that case. But that is like a cool play that this deck can do.
3,400.
Yeah. I actually could have made it an extra 14 if I discarded this Collude as well. So you can see there's like some big, huge damage potential if you have the cards for it.
Yes.
You want to play again? You want to go to this game too?
Okay. Yeah. Now that I have an idea, 100%.
So since you lost, you get to pick going first or second. So you just click one of the big cards.
All right. If I know anything from Yu-Gi-Oh, going first is broken.
It is.
So,
and so make sure to draw your card from the deck since dueling books catered to modern Yu-Gi-Oh, so we still have to do that. But afterwards, it's automatic. Okay. How are you enjoying yourself so far? I should ask.
This is way better than Master Duel. But to be fair, I wonder how much of it is actually you compared to the game, right? You're doing a really good job of explaining everything and making this like easy to get into.
I'm glad.
I don't know if have you read anything that said like the Edison format it's hard to get into just from another Yu-Gi-Oh player?
No, funny enough, we actually tell anyone looking to get into Yu-Gi-Oh to start by or if they are trying to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh if they took a break, we actually will recommend people just play Edison just to get their bearings and fundamentals. Just because modern Yu-Gi-Oh is so complicated to get into because there's so many cards, there's so many things going on. It's just really overwhelming from the new player experience. But this is very digestible for a lot of people, especially if you have any card game background at all.
Yes. Okay. I can 100% see that. So your recommendation is always play this first before you get into the actual real game.
Absolutely. If you have anyone you know who plays Yu-Gi-Oh and they know about Edison, they can recommend you some decks to play. And all of the decks are about this level of complexity. Some are a bit more complex. Some are, about this level as well. But nothing is like what you experience with Master Duel. There's no deck like that in Edison whatsoever.
Okay. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Is there anything that you could think of to help the new player experience in Yu-Gi-Oh based on Master Duel, not the Edison format?
I think the biggest issue is that so many people who play Yu-Gi-Oh have played it in some version when they were little or watched the show. So they understand the basics from that point. And then if you fell off at all, it just becomes that much more difficult to really get back into the game because as you saw, there's 3 or 4 other summoning mechanics that we're not even playing with in this version of Yu-Gi-Oh because Xyz monsters don't exist, pendulums don't exist, links don't exist. And that just continues to add complexity to the game. Not to mention, and all card games eventually experience this, but the cards themselves just have so much text on them, they become a novel. And that just turns off a lot of players. So it may be too far gone, but there are people who are willing to learn and that really like playing modern Yu-Gi-Oh now. I know someone personally, Pac, I can shout him out. He started playing just in 2018, 2019, won his first tournament, and now he's one of the best players in the game.
Wow.
No prior Yu-Gi-Oh background up until that point. So if you're dedicated to learning, it's definitely rewarding, but I think the learning curve is really steeper than every other card game, and that's what turns a lot of people off. That's
fair. Okay. Well, no, it's cool. Because you're someone with insane amount of Yu-Gi-Oh background, so it's just interesting to hear your perspective especially since you're the one showing me this.
What's funny is that at our national championship this year, there was like 3,000 people playing in the main tournament. And then there was an officially sanctioned Edison tournament at the same venue. And there was like 300 people in that. They capped it at 256 and let people in later. And everyone playing in this event was having the time of their life because it was the first like sanctioned Konami official Edison tournament since 2010, basically. And all the 3,000 people playing in the main event were just all miserable. They were all just coming over and complaining and all this. And we're all over here just like having the time of our lives. It was a very interesting dichotomy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, okay, like, so in the video that I made, right, I spectated one game and I literally watched somebody lose their entire Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess their entire tournament run, and literally they couldn't even play the game that game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's best out of 3, but like I couldn't imagine how salty I would be if I worked so hard to get to that championship and that I lost without even playing a card. Like that blows my mind.
Since I'm a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh historian from my other series, there was a tipping point in Yu-Gi-Oh where a lot of the cards started to have built-in effect negations, whether it's for monsters or spells or what have you, and they didn't have a cost assigned to them, and they were able to be used every single turn essentially. And so then as those types of cards became more and more generic, decks were able to play multiple of these cards at once, and then that makes it so that each one of these cards on the field represents a card that your opponent basically blanks in order to play the game. And so it just created so many non-games as a result of that. And now modern Yu-Gi-Oh, not necessarily this exact point in time, but a lot of modern Yu-Gi-Oh formats kind of experience that taken to the extreme. And it's not really fun because if you're on the receiving end of it, it sucks when you can't play the game. But when you're the one doing it to your opponent, you feel like you're the best player ever.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. There's nothing better than winning a game when your opponent just sits there and suffers. That's the card game motto.
That is the card game motto. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. Let me do the turn real fast. Let me pick this.
Sure. Let's see how much you've learned since that first game.
Okay, so I'm going to grab this guy to my hand.
Yep.
All right.
You are learning. This is a very standard opening play. That's good.
Okay, sick. Okay, so then we're going to also summon this guy.
And then you get another search.
And then we're going to get another search. We're going to get another dude. So let me do this. Do you see the card I pulled from my deck?
When you add it to your hand, yes, it reveals it to me.
Oh, okay. So it has to this is another hero card, right? I'm just double checking. Yep. I will take this one. All right.
Looks good to me. That emergency call will go to grave.
To the grave. Okay, cool. And then because I went first, I can't attack.
You can't attack, but you can, if you have any trap cards, you can set those. If you have spell cards to bluff me, you can set those, or you can just pass with Stratos, and that's fine.
All right. I will end my turn.
I guess we can. I think I'll just take it slow. I'm going to set a pair, and I'll pass it back.
What is this card? There's cards I probably haven't seen from your deck yet.
Admittedly, you've actually kind of seen most of them, but if you remember what they do is a different story. I'll give you a hint too. You are an aggro deck, so I mean, not that you always attack with an you're playing like a beatdown style deck. So not that you're always supposed to attack with an aggro deck, but it is in your best interest too.
So because I want to like use my spell deck to summon, you said I can use stuff in my graveyard as a resource to summon it, right? I'm just double checking.
Yes.
Attacking is usually beneficial for me anyways, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming so. So based on that logic, to the battle phase, and we will be attacking.
Sure. So when you declare the attack, I will activate Icarus attack. You should remember this card. I get to tribute a winged beast, and I will target your 2 cards on the field, and I will destroy them.
And I am just big sad. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's okay.
So now, second main phase, you didn't commit another monster, which admittedly I might have just popped 2 of your monsters. So you still can normal summon, or you can set something, or just set some back row and pass. It's up to you.
Wait, I can still normal summon a monster?
You haven't normal summoned this turn.
I feel like I did, didn't I?
No. Stratos was your first turn.
Oh, you're right. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get this guy in.
Sure.
And I will end my turn.
Okay. Second main. I think it's kind of an awkward hand for me. We'll show off something new. I'm going to normal summon Dark Grepher. So this is a cool little card. Once per turn, I can discard a dark monster. So I'm going to discard this copy of Bora. And this allows me to send a dark monster from my deck to the graveyard. So with that, I'm going to send a copy of Sirocco. You remember this guy from last episode? Or last game, I should say. Last episode. Yeah, I'm thinking it's been that long. Yeah. Now we get to show off another cool card. The first card in my graveyard, Blackwing Vayu, the Emblem of Honor. So what this guy does is I can banish him and a Sirocco from my graveyard in this case. And this allows me to effectively synchro summon from the graveyard.
Okay.
So we're going to get to summon this armed wing out to the field. Now, the one downside is the effects of it are negated. So I'm just going to put this here to designate that it doesn't have its effects. So it's just a 2300 effectively. So I'll go to battle and I'll attack you for 23 into your 19.
Okay. Sounds good. So this dies, I lose 400.
And then I will attack you directly for 17.
Sounds good. Okay.
And
So-
that'll be it for me.
I'll tell you what. I was looking at my hand before I even initiated the attack.
Okay.
Last turn, and I said to myself, I don't need to play that card. But in hindsight, I should have played that card. But I bring this up because one of my biggest complaints with Master Duel is it was very hard to tell where I went wrong.
Sure.
Other than my chat telling me I'm an idiot. So, but like right away, dude, right away, I could see where I misplayed. Like right away.
I feel like, especially in Edison format, one of the reasons people love it so much is that it's very easy to get into, but it's also very easy to like understand like what you did wrong in order to improve. And I think in terms of like a good game, I think that's a necessary component.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna set this here,
Okay.
and I will set this.
Ooh, okay. Got some back row.
Okay. And I think that's my turn.
Okay. Well, you played right into my hand since I will activate Heavy Storm.
Aha. Okay. So I believe that this will stop this, right? If I do this.
Oh, shit. Okay. He's learning. I'm getting punished for this. All right. So Heavy Storm is negated, and you get to special summon a Stardust Dragon from your extra deck.
Oh my God, that's gaming. I didn't even do it. Summon a special monster. I
Yes.
just read the first.
Oh, no. Yeah. And when you read what Stardust Dragon does and see its stats, you're going to be even more over the moon.
Holy moly. Okay, when a card or an effect is activated, that would destroy cards. Wow. Okay. That seems pretty good.
Yeah. Now, I will clarify one thing here. So it will not have the ability to special summon itself out here, and I'm going to explain why. This is a bit of a technical Yu-Gi-Oh thing. So Starlight Road will go to graveyard, obviously. And you got to protect your back row. So this is one of the things that like you have to know the rules for, which is kind of annoying because like the cards don't tell you this. So a extra deck monster, which is something from the extra deck like Stardust, that was special summoned not through a conventional synchro summon, was not considered to be synchro summoned properly. And that means it cannot be special summoned back from the graveyard at all. So if you were to make this like how I make my synchro monsters, like you saw me in the first game, I would be able to resurrect that monster. But because Stardust Dragon was summoned this way, you can use that effect to negate something and protect your cards, but Stardust Dragon won't come back. It's a very weird technical thing. But for instance, this Armed Wing also wasn't properly synchro summoned, so I can't revive this at all either, if that's any consolation for you.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But it's basically just a big 2500 that lets you protect stuff. So that does it. You're good. You're gaming. You're fine.
Okay. Cool.
I wasn't expecting to get roaded. I'll be honest with you. Okay,
let's go, dude.
All right, now what are we doing? So I will, speaking of synchro summons, I will normal summon Blizzard the Far North. You should remember this guy from last game. With it, I will resurrect Bora the Spear.
Okay.
I'm going to synchro summon for 6 with these two monsters. We're going to see a new guy here. We're going to go for Briunac, Dragon of the Ice Barrier.
Okay.
Now, this is one major difference between Edison and normal Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a thing called priority in older Yu-Gi-Oh. What priority is that any activatable effect that is like not an effect, for instance, like this Blizzard here. Blizzard says on normal summon, I do this, right? Dark Grepher, for instance, says once per turn, there's no like on summon. It's just once per turn, I can do this. So I can do this again this turn if I want to. It's called an ignition effect. Ignition meaning you choose to, activate the effect. Any ignition-based effect, you have the chance to activate as turn player before the opponent has a chance to respond to it. In modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, priority doesn't exist anymore. So before I would have a chance to activate this Briunac, you would have the chance to activate this back row here, for instance, to stop me from doing that. So hypothetically, let's say this bottomless trap hole, if you look in your graveyard.
Yeah.
This says when a monster is summoned with 1500 or more attack, destroy that monster, banish it. So in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, you would be able to use that bottomless trap hole before I get the chance to activate my Briunac. But because
Right.
Edison has prio, I'm able to use the effect before you bottomless. Now you can still bottomless, but I just get to use the effect first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's a very weird thing.
Hearthstone has that. Like when you use a battle cry, for instance, like the minion technically isn't on the board yet.
Okay.
It uses its battle cry unless like specifically there's a card that counters it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so with priority, I'm going to activate my Briunac. I am going to discard a card from my hand and then target a card you control and bounce it back to your hand. In the instance of extra deck monsters, they don't go to your hand, they go back to your extra deck. So I am going to discard a copy of Shura, and I'm going to target your Stardust Dragon.
That was very rude.
So now you have the option to respond to this. I don't know what this is, but you do have the option here.
Unfortunately, that will not help me. So to the extra deck, you said, not to my hand, right?
To the extra deck, yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, if I so wish, I could use this Briunac again to bounce your monster, and I actually have game, but that's assuming I can kill you through one back row. So it depends if I feel confident enough that I can do that. I don't feel that confident, so I'm just actually going to go to battle, and I'm going to attack with Brio into your set.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to flip this. Oh, sorry.
So it will flip. You get to destroy a monster. Now, keep in mind, I did already attack with Brio, so my other two monsters can still attack you here.
Right.
So if you kill the Brio, hypothetically, I can still get 4,000 damage in. But if you don't mind taking that, if you really want to get this Briunac off the field, then that's a decision you can make there.
Yeah. Okay. So this card's going to be annoying, though, if I don't kill it right now. Because I guess I can't really gain tempo if this card's on the board, right? So I kind of have to banish it. Yeah, I kind of have to banish it. So I'll take the 400 and get rid of it.
You don't take any damage from this attack because your Snowmaneater's in defense position.
Oh, do I not? Sorry. Okay.
Not from this.
How do I get this?
Click on the minus, it changes to a plus, and then just add it back. Yep.
Okay, so then this card, that Snowman goes to the graveyard?
Still goes to graveyard. You're going to destroy the Brio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got it.
Yep.
Gotta get rid of it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's all going downhill. Well, it's good to know. It's good to know I was never killing you this turn anyway. That's good.
Yeah. Listen, you didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything.
You didn't see. Holy moly, bro.
So Snowmaneater's gone.
It is gone. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
17.
That card. Okay. Well. Okay, I'll take the 17.
And then 23. I imagine there's no possible card you could have here.
All right, I'm going to activate this.
Sure. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you being a sportsman-like player.
Of course. This is a learning experience. It's a learning experience. I will pass the turn. And you're up on cards, which is very good for you in this situation.
I know. This is huge. Okay. I got to read this card. I keep staring at it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to activate this.
Okay, this is one of the most broken cards in the format.
Okay, so I've been holding that card for 2 turns. I should have played it earlier. But
so this card works a little bit differently in Edison. It actually got an errata. You should be familiar with that with Hearthstone. They errata cards all the time. So what you're actually allowed to do is they like change the text or like change the stats on things.
Sure. Okay.
So on activation, you actually send the materials immediately. You don't wait until a turn like this card says. They tried to balance it, and now it's terrible. So you can actually send the cards immediately.
Okay, so from my main deck to my graveyard.
Correct.
All right, so let me see what I got here. Okay, so I have to show one and then shuffle that in. Okay,
correct. So if you go to your extra deck, if you hover over one of your cards, you can. There should be a reveal option. Oh, well, that works too.
I just showed the whole deck, I think, to you. Okay, so I'm assuming I want to do the hero card because I'm not sure if I can even summon these Fortress Dragons. I probably could, but so I revealed this to you.
Correct, and that showed it to me. And now you send any hero and water monster.
From my deck.
From your deck to the grave, yep. And then in 2 turns, assuming Future Fusion is still on the field, it will summon the absolute 0.
All right, so I want to do that one. And I think it's the snowman too, right? I just want to make sure.
Any water monster. So waters. Any water monster. Yep.
Oh, that's, dude, you know what? Stevie's been showing me cards just to guess and just whatever. Mm-hmm. And I have never understood what those icons in the top right actually did until right now.
It's relevant.
It is very relevant. But he's been so he shows me cards throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, right? Okay. And I guess he compares it to like what it is right now, and I don't know how relevant that is in current Yu-Gi-Oh. So maybe that's why he just hasn't said anything to me about it.
Sure. No, attributes are pretty important.
So I'm gonna play that.
Sure.
And then I go to my battle phase, and I will be swinging at this monster.
And I will take 200.
Let's go. Okay, and then we're gonna my turn.
Yep.
This game seems different now that you don't have that card that gives you one extra minion every
It
single
is.
turn.
But a lot of people say that Black Whirlwind is basically a death sentence for most decks. And it very much changed the entire landscape of the game. Playing.
Yeah, so like now that I know you had that card in your deck, I would have held that spell that gets rid of a spell or any of the card on the board because I didn't know that was in your deck last game.
Exactly.
But that's the learning experience, right? Okay, so you're activating your thing. Okay.
Yeah. So I have another Blizzard. Blizzard will get back Bora. Doesn't really matter too much. And we're going to sync for 6. You know this. I've done this play like 9 times already. This deck does what it does very well. We're going to bring out Goyo Guardian. This time we're actually going to be able to get this guy in, I think. And we'll attack you for 9.
Grave and then 900.
And I will activate Goyo Guardian. I actually get to take your monster and special summon it in defense to my field.
Holy. Okay.
This is so this card also received an errata. It usually only takes any tuner, not an earth tuner specifically.
Oh,
okay. But this card is this was one of the first synchros ever released alongside Stardust Dragon. It is very pushed. Very, very pushed for Yu-Gi-Oh! At this time.
They wanted like the mechanic to be good.
Exactly. Sure. They wanted you to buy the new cards, and they did a phenomenal job with Synchro Monster.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
During your standby phase, actually, this is where Future Fusion will come up. So it'll proceed to 1 turn on Future Fusion resolving. So if you want, underneath the M2 button, there's what looks like a poker chip. You can drag that to Future Fusion, and it'll put a 1 on it. There you go.
I see. Like that's like a timer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess this is probably okay. All right.
Okay. I just have to try and kill you here, so hopefully we can. I will put your Neos Alias to attack. I will normal summon Shura, and let's try to go for a game.
Okay. So I'm gonna flip that. That thing just dies.
It does just die, and unless you have something here, I believe I have you.
I think it's I think you win this game. Yeah. Oh,
one more turn, God. And that absolute 0 would have wrecked me because I had no out to it.
Yeah, so listen, I can just look at the learning curve or the learning from this game, right? The fusion card should have been played so much earlier.
Correct.
It was in my hand for a long time. And that was probably the learning curve there. I actually thought I was in a really good spot until you played this fucking Goyo card.
To be fair, Future Fusion does have probably the most text of like any card in this format. Yeah, but it's a very powerful card nonetheless.
I didn't win any games, but at least I understood what was happening, and that's all I really wanted from this.
So how was this experience compared to your Master Duel experience? Does this make you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh again?
I would play this format for sure. Like if someone asked me to play this format and this was like a real, I guess this is kind of, I'm going to call it like real in quotations because it's not like an official client or anything. If this was on Master Duel, I'd probably play this a lot more. Like I would have played this for like the 10 hours and I'd probably do it again, like just from this format to see how good I could get out of this.
Sure.
Because it's more fun, right? Like I think almost every single person watching this who watched my other video was like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of garbage. Or like, there's no way I'm playing this game. It looks like a clown fiesta. Could understand at least what is happening. I think it's a much easier game to wrap your brain around and get into the Yu-Gi-Oh spirit than what Master Duel was.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because as someone who grew up playing this game, I've gotten to experience a lot of older Yu-Gi-Oh. And so I think that's why I came to you wanting to seek redemption for all, the Yu-Gi-Oh players out there, or to introduce other non-Yu-Gi-Oh players to Yu-Gi-Oh, because I feel like Master Duel does a poor job. And I think a lot of the other ways that people would typically play Yu-Gi-Oh do a poor job. It's like if you don't have a friend or you don't know someone who knows the proper way to teach you or the proper way to introduce you, you have no shot of ever liking this game. And it's unfortunate because I think when you see a game like this, we had back and forth, we had some cool interactions. You got to flip Starlight Road on me and almost like win the game immediately. And it's fun. Like people look at this can understand what's going on, even if they don't really have like a big understanding of card games, right? We're really just trying to push for more people to play it because I think it's okay if you play modern Yu-Gi-Oh or if you play Edison format or any other alternate format, but I think this is at its essence one of the most purest, most fun ways to play the game, just because it's a lot of fundamentals, a lot of just like really old school cards that people might remember, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. This was a lot more enjoyable. I'll put it like that. Yeah, dude. Okay, I appreciate you doing this 100%.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.